Hello everyone. Welcome to the next e-lecture. Myself, Professor Neha Sharma from Department of Computer Engineering, KK Wag Institute of Engineering, Education and Research, Nashik. We are NAC A accredited and NBA accredited for 8 branches. So as you know that in this particular lecture series, we are discussing one of the courses from BE Computer Engineering 2015 course of Savitribai Phule Pune University. The name of the course is Data Analytics. It belongs to semester 1 of final year. And in this particular e-lecture, we are going to discuss one of the topics from unit number 5. And the topic that we are going to discuss here is tools used in data visualization. So before we start, we will now discuss what are the objectives and outcomes as our usual practice, and then we'll move on to the contents. So the objective of this particular e-lecture is to discuss various tools used in data visualization, and at the end of the lecture we will be able to identify the types of multidimensional visualization. We will be able to list and discuss various multidimensional visualization tools, and we will also be able to outline various open source and commercialized visualization tools. So let us start now. So when we discuss these tools that can be used for visualization purpose, broadly these tools can be divided into two categories. First is multidimensional visualization, and second is multidimensional visualization tools. Okay, we will see them one by one. So when you consider multidimensional visualization, it again has two subcategories, type 1 and type 2. This type 1 category actually focuses on the category count. That means whatever data you have, you are actually interested in the amount of data, that is the count of data that is available. So usually we represent count of any particular attribute or a feature using different types of charts like pie chart, bar chart, histogram, tree maps, etc. So all these type of charts belong to type 1 because here we actually focus on the category count, that is the number. Okay, so that is what is type 1 category is all about. Then second is type 2. Here we are actually not interested in any count of a particular feature, but what we are actually interested in here is the relationship between different variables. So our data set may have different attributes. If you want to properly understand which of these variables are related, strongly related or correlated, or have causal relationships and so on so forth. So if you want to understand the relationship between the variables, then this is type 2 category. So what type of charts or what type of plots do this? Yes, answer is scatter plots, line chart, area chart, and likewise there are many that we will discuss in the next slide, particularly related to type 2. Okay, so just remember, as of now type 1 is focuses on the count of a particular attribute, whereas type 2 actually focuses on the relationship between various attributes or variables. Okay, so that is the first set of the visualization tools. The second is multi-dimensional visualization tools. So here we are actually going to discuss some of the free, that is open source, as well as the commercial visualization tools. So on the slide you can see 4 of them I have listed, but we will discuss many more in the slide in the subsequent slides. So Google Chart is the first one, which is basically related to recording of or placing any live data or real-time data on the website. So if you want to do this, then you can make use of Google Charts. Then second is Tableau. There are various versions of Tableau available. There is also a free version of Tableau available called as Tableau Public, which we will discuss. So this particular tool is related to whenever say we want to view somebody's visualization and we have to also create our own visualization, then we can go for the use of Tableau. Then the next one is Weave. It is related to, or it stands for web based visualization. So whenever you want to deal with web-based visualization and you want to visualize any type of data, like as in you know that there are multiple types of data that you will deal with. Data can be structured or unstructured or semi-structured or quasi-structured and so on so forth. So whatever be the type of your data, that is whatever be the data type, you can use Weave for having a visualization. So that is Weave. And the next one is Wordle. As the name tells you, Wordle. So Wordle is nothing but a word cloud. So it takes simply a text input and it creates a word cloud for you. So whenever you are interested in creating a word cloud, then you can go for the use of Wordle. So in the previous slide we have seen type 1 and type 2. So here we are going to just see some of the examples. I just want you to know what are the different types of type 2 charts and what they look like. Scatter plot and line chart you are already aware of. Third one is area chart. So let's see how it looks like. So this is an area chart. You can see here 3 areas are being shown. The blue one related to bears, orange one related to dolphins, and the grey one related to whales. So this is a area chart related to wildlife population, and 3 different areas are visualized in this particular chart, that is area chart. Then the next one is step chart. So as the name again tells you, step chart. So the chart which shows different steps for a particular thing, that is a step chart. You can see here this is a step chart for stock in hand trend of 2016. So this is nothing but the steps that you can see, and on the x-axis you can see different months of the year 2016 and how the trend has been changing in steps, that is being visualized in this particular chart. The next is heat maps. Heat maps are basically used to show the impact of something in various regions of a geographical area. So you can see here this is a heat map. Orange bubbles or orange area is the affected areas, whatever you want to represent here. Maybe you can consider a pandemic situation. So that is a heat map example. Okay. Then next is radar chart, or you also call this as a spider chart because it looks like a spider web. So this is a spider chart or radar chart. Now, as you can see here, the blue line indicates the allocated budget and the red line indicates the actual amount that we have spent. So you can see here in some areas the allocated budget was less, but you have spent more than that. Okay, you can see here for marketing the allocated budget was way less. Okay, it was around something $20, but we have actually spent somewhere around $50 or something. So that is how a radar chart or spider chart looks like. Then we have box and whisker plot. This you might be aware of. This I have already explained in one of my lectures of data analytics. You might have understood there. But just to show you an example of box and whisker plot, this middle line represents the median, that is the middle value of any particular attribute. Then you have value of Q1, that is the lower quartile. Median is nothing but Q2, and Q3 is nothing but your upper quartile, and this is the minimum and this is the maximum one, and this is nothing but your whisker. Okay, so you can see here of different attributes. This is a whisker plot, box plot or a whisker plot that you can see here, and these dots that you can see, they are nothing but outliers. Okay, so that is how a box and whisker plot looks like. Then you have a waterfall chart. So again, as the name tells you, it is like a waterfall, you know, wavy. Okay, so this is a waterfall chart or a template just for display purpose of, it is not related to a particular data set, just to show you how a waterfall chart looks like. It is being added here in the slide. So that is all is about type 2 visualization tools. Now we'll actually move on to the next actual tools of used in data visualization. The first one, as we have seen, is the Google chart. So as I have already told you, Google Charts are usually used to display live data on website. And if you go to Google and if you type Google Chart, there you will see introduction, quick start, and you will see the chart library. I have taken a screenshot for you to just have a look. So this is how Google Chart looks like. You can see here a sample pie chart is being displayed. Okay, and here you can see the various contents like different type. You can load the chart library, then you can customize your charts, you can draw the charts, you can import or export the charts. Then there are different types of charts available. You have a chart gallery, and then you have annotation charts and all. So different types of charts are already there. So when you click on the create chart, you will see a sample code over here. And once you copy that particular code, and if you save it on your computer and with .html, and when you open it in a browser, you will see the respective chart being created. So there is a sample code available for each of these chart types. So you can simply click on the respective chart, copy the code, save it with .html, and simply execute it in your browser to see the impact. So that is how Google Chart works. Then the next tool is Many Eyes. It is a tool developed by IBM Cognos Group. It was a website that was used earlier. It is not in use right now because it has stopped working. It only worked till 2015. So it was earlier a website used to create and view or share others' visualization, and this particular website or tool was used or developed in Java and Flash. So that is the reason I have not taken a screenshot here for Many Eyes. It is no longer in use, but just for your information I have put it up in the slide. The next tool I have already discussed is Tableau Public. We will see different versions of Tableau also here. So basically Tableau is a BI tool developed by a US based company, and it is used to create your own visualization and also to view the others' visualization. It basically has a Hadoop infrastructure that you can embed using Tableau. It uses Hive for structuring the queries. This Hive and Hadoop and then Pig and then Mahout. So all these things are related to the Hadoop ecosystem that we will discuss in unit number 6 in the next unit. So don't worry about it right now. Just remember these are components of the Hadoop ecosystem as of now. So it uses this Tableau Public uses Hive for structuring the queries, and it has an in-memory visualization. So that is the reason it is faster, because if your data is in memory, obviously it is easier to access, and you can access the data in a faster manner. So that is all about in-memory visualization. Then it also uses a concept of caching. So obviously it reduces the latency of the Hadoop cluster. So that is the reason, as a consequence or as a result, it is much more interactive as compared to other tools. And it has a quick and easy data acquisition. You can easily and quickly access the data, and any type of data, any size of data, and of any graphics you can access using Tableau Public. So it also publishes interactive graphics, merges the data from different users, and you can club them into a single view, and you can represent that as a visualization form. So that is what you can also do using Tableau Public. And the data is public, of course, as the name Tableau Public. So you can download that data for your purpose and then make use of that data. So that is Tableau Public. Now, as I've said, there are different versions of this Tableau already available. We'll discuss them. There are 5 basic versions or products of Tableau. The first one is Tableau Desktop. As the name tells you, it is designed for a single user. Tableau Server is for organizations. Tableau Public is, as I have said, it is a free version. It is fine to work with if you have only flat XLS files to work or deal with. Then you have Tableau Prep, as Prep stands for data preparation. So whenever you have a noisy data or you have to perform certain pre-processing steps, then this is the tool that you should use. Then you have Tableau Online, where all your data is completely hosted on the cloud. So So that is Tableau Online. So these are the 5 basic versions of products of Tableau Public. I'll have taken a screenshot for you to have a look at. So this is Tableau Public website. You can see here these are the 5 versions already available. So you can click on each of these and you'll get information. If you want, you can click on or download the free version, that is Tableau Public, and go ahead and use it because it is free, and check how it works. So that is about Tableau Public. Then the next tool you have is Weave. As I have said, it is an open source tool used for web-based analytics and visualization. This particular tool is used or built using Adobe Flex and ActionScript. It has a full screen reader support. It has assistive device navigation support. Now remember, this is the only tool that provides explanation to your visualizations. Other tools, what they would do is you provide them the data set, they will perform the visualization, but for somebody who is very naive and novice and doesn't understand what this visualization means, then he or she should go for this option, that is Weave, because it provides you with the explanation of different visualizations. So obviously, definitely because of this reason, it is user friendly and it is free, so it is highly affordable also. So let's see a screenshot for this Weave. So this is the website you can go to, and this is the information that is available related to Weave. So again, I want you to explore, go ahead, download and check how it works. Then the next tool is Wordle. As I told you, Wordle stands for word clouds. So it creates word clouds from the text input that you are providing. What usually a word cloud is whatever textual information or data you have in that particular text or in that particular input, whatever words appear more frequently, those words are given a higher or greater prominence. So maybe they'll appear in a bigger size or in a different font or in a bolder font. So definitely you can play around with your word clouds. You can use different fonts, different colors, layouts, different color schemes you can use and create the kind of word cloud that you want. Once you create this word cloud, it is possible for you to print or save it on your own system. But Wordle is not that much used. Desktop version, yes, it is available, but there are some security issues. It gives you a lot of warnings because it is not assigned. So that is why it is not a good choice to go for using this particular tool. That is the reason I have not taken a screenshot here. So move on to the next category of tools. In this particular category of tools, we are going to discuss hierarchical and landscape visualization tools. So as the name tells you, hierarchical means it deals with hierarchy. So we are basically dealing with linking, trees, hierarchies and so on and so forth. So what are the examples of such kind of tools? The first example is Dendrogram. Let's see how it looks like. So this is how a Dendrogram looks like. Okay, so you have analytics here, animate here, and then you have subtrees here. So it is basically a hierarchical pattern which you are creating. So this is an example of Dendrogram. Then you have a radial tree. This is how a radial tree looks like. Okay, then you have a hyperbolic tree. This is how a hyperbolic tree looks like. I have just put the images for you to understand the differences between them. Then you have a tree map. So this is how a tree map looks like. Okay. Then you have a corn tree. You can see here, these are different corns that are created. So this is a corn tree. Then you have precision tree or flowchart. So it is nothing but your flowchart. You are already aware of what is a flowchart. So I haven't put the snapshot here. Then you have a phylogenetic tree. This is how it looks like, phylogenetic tree. Okay. So these are basically some of the categories of hierarchical or landscape visualization tools. We have two more here. One is network workbench and another is Provotis. This network workbench is related to say for example, when you have some large scale networks that you want to visualize. say for example for some biomedical purpose, or it is also used for social sciences and physics research. So let us see how it looks like. And this is how a network workbench looks like. You can see here, this is a network of different nodes connected to each other. Then next is Provotis. It is whenever say you have custom views of data is represented here. If you are using Provotis, the data is represented in the form of bars and dots, and it is very easy to use. You can go ahead and explore the tool. I haven't put the snapshot of this particular tool here. Then we move on to the next set of tools. The first one is Data Wrapper. So it is the tool that was produced in Europe, particularly designed for journalism organizations or news institutes. So it is a web-based GUI. You need not have any coding or design skills required. Using Data Wrapper is simply a three-step process. I'll show you the process. Step 1 is you have to simply copy and paste your data here. Okay, so that is nothing but the loading of your data. Then you have step 2. Step 2 is you can edit your chart. That means from the different categories of charts available, you can click on whichever chart you want to make use of, and the rest will be done by the Data Wrapper. Then step 3 is publish and embed or print your content. So once your data is visualized, it is up to you if you want to publish it or embed it somewhere, or if you want to take a print of that visualization. So that is the possibility, that is the feature or available to you. So this is a 3-step process if you want to make use of Data Wrapper tool. Okay. Then we move on to the next few set of tools. The next tool that we are going to discuss is Chart.js. JS stands for JavaScript. So it is an open source library to create and use charts. So as I said, it is JS stands for JavaScript. So JavaScript charting is basically for designers and developers, and you need to include this library in your front-end code and then use the API from that. So if you want to make use of this Chart.js, you need some sort of coding knowledge. It is mandatory for you to have some coding knowledge, only then you can go for using this particular library. Then next you have Raw. It is a web-based GUI built on top of D3.js library. Now what is this D3? D3 stands for data driven documents. Okay, so it is nothing but it is again a small free JavaScript library. It is used to operate HTML documents, and if you want to use some open web standards, so for that purpose you can make use of D3, because it creates web-based visualization in the format that you want, like HTML, SVG, CSS and so on so forth. So that is what is D3.js all about. And for using Raw also you need some sort of coding knowledge. So I'm sorry, for using Raw you need not have any coding knowledge. Everything is taken care of. Okay, so that is Raw. Then the next tool that we are going to discuss is Charted and Timeline. Charted is a product invented by Medium by a science team. The only thing that you need to do here for using Charted is you simply copy paste the link of your data set as the input to the tool, and it will give you the visualization directly. So if suppose you have some variations in your data set, or it is a real-time data, so in that case this Charted fetches the data at some timely intervals, say 30 minutes, to ensure whether the data is up to date or not. And users can code on host their own version of Charted, and it does not, now remember, it does not store your data anywhere, it does not transform or manipulate your data, it does not do any formatting with your data. So if you have any issues with your data, if there are missing values, if you have some noisy data or something like that, then the pre-processing you have to take care of. The Charted will not do that for you. It is only used to display the visualization. It is simply used to just for visualization purpose. So that is what is Charted. Then the next tool is Timeline. As the name tells you, timeline. So it is used to display set of events in a sequential manner. Okay, so something happens after some time, then after some time, then some event happens. So if you want to display the set of events in some particular sequence or in a timeline fashion, then you can go for use of this particular tool. So you can format your data using spreadsheet, and then you can use this timeline generator to publish it. It is again a 4-step process if you want to make use of this tool. Step 1 is you have to create your own data, that is spreadsheet in your .xls format. Then step 2 is publish it to the web. Step 3 is generate your timeline, and then step 4 is share the link. So it is, if simply you follow these 4 steps, you will be able to see the visualization, and you can share the link of your visualization with everybody. So that is how we can make use of this tool timeline. Then the next you have leaflet. So for making use of leaflet, what this leaflet is it is a lightweight mobile friendly JavaScript library again, and it is used to create interactive maps. It obviously it is related to JavaScript library and interactive maps, so it uses HTML5 and CSS3 on the advanced browsers. It works for the mobiles as well as the desktop applications. It is very well documented and easy to use. It has a readable source code, so you can understand the source code if you wish to. It can be extended with lots of plugins, and coding knowledge is needed here. Yes, of course, if you want to make use of leaflet, you need to have some coding knowledge to be able to use it. So that is what is the leaflet. Then next is Microsoft Power BI. Now this is a commercial visualization tool that we are discussing now from here on. Before this, whatever tools we have discussed, they were open source. Microsoft Power BI is a commercial tool, that is you have to pay something to be able to use it. Free version also is available of Power BI. We'll discuss different versions or products of Power BI. So this what is this Microsoft Power BI is? It is business analytics service initiated by Microsoft, and it aims to have interactive visualizations for having BI capabilities, and user can have or create the reports and dashboards from the data set that is available, and derive some insights for improving the business. So it offers the data warehouse capabilities. That means you can store the data here. You can prepare the data, you can discover the insights from the data, and you can have interactive dashboards. So all the such facilities are available with Microsoft Power BI. These are the different versions or products of Power BI that are available. You can call this as Power BI ecosystem. You have a desktop version, obviously it is available. Desktop version means it is for PCs and desktops. Power BI service is a SaaS, that is service as a infrastructure, SaaS based online service. Then you have Power BI mobile apps, which is used for Android and iOS devices. Then you have Power BI gateway to sync the external data in and out of Power BI. So if you have such a scenario wherein you have to deal with data from varied sources and use it in your organization, then definitely this Power BI gateway is for you. Then you have Power BI embedded. It uses a REST API that you can use for having your dashboards and reports. Then you have Power BI report server. It is for companies that won't or they cannot store the data on a cloud based service. So just for a temporary service, if you want, then you can make use of report server. And then you have Visuals Marketplace for having custom visualizations and or R powered visualizations. So these are the key components. First one is for desktop, second one is for software as a service, third is for mobile applications, fourth one is for freely being able to move the data in and out of your organization. This is if you want to embed your data or reports or dashboards, then you can do it using Power BI embedded. This is for server. If you don't want to store your data on the cloud, then you can make use of report server version. And Visuals Marketplace is where you want to create custom visuals and power based visuals, R based visuals. So these are the key components of Power BI ecosystem. Then the next tool that we are going to discuss is Qlik. It is again a commercial tool. It was earlier pronounced as Qlik, and formerly earlier it was also known as Qlik Tech. So this particular tool basically provides an end-to-end platform which includes the data integration, user-driven BI. It again has two versions available. Qlik View is for business intelligence and Qlik Sense is for only the visualization purpose. So here you need to understand the basic difference business intelligence and visualization. When you are talking about visualization, you are simply providing the data and the tool gives you the visualization of that particular data without without doing any processing on your data. It will simply create a visualization of your data. It may or may not be used to make business decisions when you create visualizations using Qlik Sense. But when you are using Qlik View, it is basically used for business intelligence. That means the kind of insights that are derived using these tools will help you make better business decisions. So that is what is the basic difference between the two. So this Qlik is easily associated with multiple data sources. You can have data from multiple sources and deal with them in a various ways that you want using Qlik. You can drag and drop your data to create interactive analytics apps. You can have AI generated insight suggestions automatically. You can have suggestions also from your data, from whatever visualization is being displayed. It will also display some suggestions automatically for you. You can do this, you can do this, you can do this, likewise, so and so forth. You can share and co-author with your group or team if you are working in a environment, in a shared environment. You can also schedule automated data refreshes if your data is runtime or real time. Then you can do this. Facility is also available in Qlik. So that is, now we have moved to the end of the lecture. So in this particular lecture we have discussed various tools of data visualization. We have discussed multi-dimensional visualization, wherein we have seen type 1 and type 2. Type 1 deals with the category count. Type 2 deals with the relationship between the variables. Then we have seen various multi-dimensional data visualization tools like Google Charts and so on. We have also discussed tools that are open source, and we have also discussed tools that are commercial. That is, we have seen Tableau, we have seen Microsoft Power BI, we have seen Qlik. These have their commercial versions available. Whereas in free tools we have seen Google Charts, we have seen Chart.js, we have seen Wordle, we have seen Weave, we have seen Data Wrapper, and so on and so forth. So these were the various tools that we have discussed in this particular lecture. Still, if you have any doubt, just feel free to share your queries on my email ID that is mentioned here on the slide, that is ngSharma@kkvag.edu.in. So yeah, thank you so much for patient listening. Have a good day. Thank you.